Hello everyone, I'm Odoamne, the top laner of Rogue, and we're gonna do a Gwen guide. Typically, you would want to pick Gwen when enemy has, I would say, at least one melee champ, because her biggest advantage right now in creating your team comp is the fact that it creates a big buffer zone between you and the enemy melee champs. It effectively isolates you to be alone in your zone with the enemy melee champs, and it makes it really hard for the ranged champions from the enemy team to walk into the zone. So I would say that it's a very good champ to pick when enemy has a balanced mix of melee and ranged champions, because at the same time, if everyone's really short range, in a way it nullifies your ability to create this buffer zone between the front line and the back line. So yeah, as I said, it's good to isolate the enemy front line from their back line. Pretty much every matchup is good for Gwen, I would say. There's maybe some ranged matchups that are a bit difficult for her, like Chase and Cannon. They're a bit tricky just because they have the tools to disengage, because typically Gwens like to run Ignite and TP, because whenever you get to go in and create this buffer zone, you can effectively just one-shot someone with Ignite. It helps for that. And even when you get like ganked, if you're playing it well enough, you're able to trade kills just from the fact that you have Ignite. That also creates kind of like a psychological pressure, I would say, against the enemies to make them pick a good fight, else you're able to just trade kills. So yeah, pretty much stuff that can disengage and cancel the trade whenever they want against Gwen is good. Also for melee champ, I think also Set is pretty good against Gwen. She's pretty good at being sidelined just because she has a lot of mobility and she clears waves pretty fast. I think you need a Doran's Ring at some point, or kind of keep it in your build for the whole game, because if you do play side lane for long enough, you're gonna run into mana problems if you wanna clear the waves fast, just because your E and Q, you kind of spam them and you run out of mana. And Doran's Ring helps with that. But she's really good at side lane just because she's really fast at clearing waves, really fast at moving around the map and farming enemy jungle camps, because you have champions like Akali that are very strong, but she's not so great at clearing the waves fast. I mean, she can clear waves fast, but she has to expend a lot of energy and cooldowns to clear the wave, and she cannot really farm jungle camps fast enough. While champs like Gwen will typically get a big lead in the mid game just by farming jungle camps, because she's so quick at doing them and getting out. Breathmaker is a must. It pretty much gives you everything you need for dueling power. As for the choice of boots, you kind of have some flexibility between Merctress, Ninja or Plate Steel Caps, and some people like to go CDR boots, but I'm not a fan of that. I think Plate Steel Caps and Merctress are usually the best choice of boots. And now is when the build kind of goes in different directions. Some people like to go Nashor's Tooth second. If you're snowballing pretty hard, it's good because whenever you start fighting someone in the zone, you're pretty much one-shotting him. But I think the most reliable build is going Zonia second into Cosmic Drive. This ensures that you're really mobile. You have a good mix of damage and durability. Zonia is just kind of an OP item. And you have a lot of CDR for your spell rotations. And when you get access to a lot of CDR, your champion damage kind of increases by a significant margin. And then I would say you kind of have a choice. You can go Nashor's Tooth again if you don't have it, or go into Death Cap. Void Staff, I wouldn't say it's so needed just because your Q the middle of your Q does true damage. But it's nice for your ult. But yeah, I would say it's typically the same build path every game. There's not a lot of variation into it. The thing is, Gwen's W just kind of makes enemies fight in the way you want to fight, just because it's so OP. So you can kind of stay with the same build every single time, and if you use W properly, you're forcing the enemies to fight into what you want. Because, for example, if I'm playing against an Azir or an Orianna, I don't really need MR. I just need to press W, and I'm gonna dodge all their spells. I think you're going pretty much the same runes every game. You want to go Conqueror, and then Presence of Mind is an okay choice if you're playing against a melee champion. Allows you to be a bit more loose with your mana, but typically Triumph is better. And then Tenacity is still nice. Legend Tenacity is still nice if enemy has a lot of CC. Even though your W is OP, it's still nice to kind of have this backup safety net. Otherwise, you can go Alacrity if enemy doesn't have any CC or like a lot of CC threats for you. Last Stand, typically the best choice in the tree at the bottom. As for the secondary rune tree, I think Resolve is right now best. Bone Plating allows you to fight very well level 1. Unflinching is, I think, the best rune, even if enemy doesn't have a lot of CC. The fact that you can use your E during your Q or like any spell is a big plus. You don't want to gap close and use EQ to gap close. You want to kind of do QE, and then enemy has a harder time to react to it, and most of the time you will get your combo off. So you kind of want to go into QE autos and then chase them down because your E cooldown is gonna reset. With your ult, you can be a bit more creative. For example, some players like to play with Ghost instead of Ignite. And for example, if you're in a long lane and you're catching someone, you can use E into ult to slow him for 1.5 seconds. And you kind of wait out the full duration of the slow so you can keep like auto-attacking him for free. And then you want to use your second ult when the slow is about to end or when it ended. So this way you kind of keep prolonging the same slow duration for up to 4.5 seconds. So that's good if you need more rotations of your Q and E and autos to chase someone down and kill him. Otherwise, it's also nice and not bad to just stack your ults one after the other, because you need to weave autos in between. So you can do E ult, auto, ult, because this way you're kind of guaranteeing to hit it, because her ult is kind of hard to hit because it has a bit of a delay. You kind of want to utilize the fact that they're slow to keep landing in your ult. But this is kind of if you don't need to chase someone down, I would use it like this. But other than that, there's not a lot of combos with this champ because she's mainly just like auto attack based champ, and her Q is kind of her only offensive ability, I would say. Yeah, Gwen is definitely broken. Her W is too OP of a spell, and the fact that she can redirect it one time, it makes it even stronger. Like, for example, if she would not be able to redirect her ult and she has to stay on her ult, she would be a lot more balanced and she would have a lot more counterplay. But the fact that she gets one ticket to redeploy her W makes her pretty OP. So yeah, I would say the key to being a good Gwen is knowing how to use your W.
Thanks for watching. For more gaming-related content, subscribe to the Esports YouTube channel to stay up to date.